Let's get straight to the punch. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. You already know. It's your boy Bando. Who else would it be? Just me. You already know. UFC 293 was this past weekend, and we crowned a new UFC middleweight champion. And I don't know about you guys. I'm shocked. It threw me off guard. Sean Strickland did not only go in there and win, but my man's dropped Izzy in the first round. Yo, let's review this shit real quick. Let's check this. Look, I'm shocked. It is what it is. So UFC 293 was this past weekend. Hell of a card. Sydney showed out. The Sydney card showed out. It was a fun card, very exciting. Now let me get this out of the way quick. The depressing news on my end was none of my bets hit. Not one of them. None. Zero, zip, zilch. Not even got close. It was a rough night on the bet slips, but hey, shit happens. It is what it is. What are you going to do? Either way, look, we had a great card. We had a fantastic card. And like I said, it seemed like the Sydney crowd showed out and the Sydney card itself showed out. You put a bunch of guys from the hometown. They're going to show out for the hometown crowd, win, lose, or draw. And there were some fantastic performances. And one I want to highlight. I want to highlight a performance of a guy who didn't even get the win. But because he went in there toe-to-toe with somebody that people expected him to get walked down, being a short notice opponent, making his debut and everything like that. Felipe Dos Santos. I want to give the man his flowers because he stood in there with Manal Cape, who's supposed to be a top 5 contender in the flyweight division, and he made him look like he was a 15th ranked guy that he was in there fighting. Look, Manal Cape, I don't know exactly what it is. Everybody switches it up. Everybody pronounces shit differently, so I never know what it is. But dude's skilled. All right, he's very skilled. He's got good hands. He's got good boxing, good kickboxing. I think Kai Kara France would have knocked him out on Saturday night. Well, Saturday for me, Sunday night for them. I think Kai Kara France, if he would have showed up for that fight, would have knocked him out that night, specifically. But besides that, that's just one performance I wanted to highlight. There's so many performances that were good on this card. Tyson Pedro showed out, did exactly what I said he needed to do. Put it together, and that's what he did. He got the finish against Anton Turkalj. Great performance, good performance by Carlos Olberg. Good performance by Chet Mariscal. That one caught me off guard. I had Jack Jenkins winning that fight, and he went in there and did his thing. Nasrat and Landon Quinones was a banger. A banger fight on the prelims. Shout out to Landon Quinones. I think he was making his UFC debut because he's from the Ultimate Fighter. I think it was from this McGregor and Chandler season. If not, it was the last season. But he's from the Ultimate Fighter. Beautiful performance against a guy like Nasrat, who's been in there with some very tough opponents. Stood toe-to-toe with some game dudes. And this kid showed out, and even though he didn't get the win, just great performance. That was one of my favorite fights that night. I thought it was awesome. Tough night for Blood Diamond. Tough night for Shane Young. Kiefer Crosby, who's one of McGregor's teammates, couldn't get it done. But just it was a wild card, back and forth. A lot of people screaming some shit that they probably shouldn't have been screaming in their post-fight thing. But hey, that's part of the fight game. People say what they want to say, and that's why I love it. It's a free world when it comes to fighting. You know, you're watching guys go in there and beat the shit out of each other. If you're worried about what they're gonna say, you're watching the wrong sport, bro. But either way, Let's review this whole card real quick. So opening the card, you had Tyson Pedro, Anton Turkalj. I thought Tyson Pedro, like I said, looked phenomenal. He did his damn thing. He had the striking put together. He just looked good. At first, I saw Anton pushing the pace a little bit, was throwing some good shots. I thought if he could bring it to a slugfest that he would have a better chance. He got caught with some mean shots in that first round by Tyson Pedro, and Tyson Pedro did his thing, got the finish, And that was one of the first legs that completely fucked me up. Then you move on to Justin Taffa, Austin Lane. We all know this fight was supposed to happen, a few weeks back, or a few months back, and it happened and then got canceled because the eye poke or whatever. Justin Taffa went in there like I said he was going to. Mark Hunt style, bruv. Mark Hunt style. Now, I predicted that fight. I was right. KO on his end. Justin Lane's a big dude. He's a very, very good fighter. He's long. He uses his reach well. If he can really put the power in the distance, kind of like how Volkov has become, if he could really be like that, the dude has a lot of skill and can be a very talented fighter. But Justin Taffa is a savage. If he connects with your chin, you're going to sleep. He swings with bad intentions, and that's exactly what he did. And got a beautiful KO finishing the first round. 1 minute and 22 seconds into the first round. Nasty. Nasty. I know they're from the same background and everything, but it'd be an amazing fight to see Justin Taffa and Tai Tuivasa. But we'll get to Tai in a couple more fights. But next fight, you got Manel Kape versus Felipe Dos Santos. This was fight of the night. Not only was it the UFC Dana White's fight of the night, it was my fight of the night as well. Besides that, Quinones and Nasrat Haqpasarat, I can't ever say his last name, but besides that fight, this was my fight of the night on the main card. This fight was phenomenal. Back and forth. And here's the thing. Like I was saying at the beginning of this video, I was talking about Manel Kape. You're talking about a guy who's supposed to be top 5. He's supposed to come out, make a statement. Was supposed to be fighting another top 5 contender in Kai Kara France, which would have catapulted either one of them to the next title shot, right? But you go in there against a guy like Felipe Dos Santos, and Felipe Dos Santos making his debut on short notice, he went out there and showed out. He showed out. He brought the heat to Manel Kape, caught him with some good shots, kept bringing the pressure to him in different ways. He was swinging any type of swing he can. It was just a very impressive performance for a guy making his debut on short notice. It's exactly what he was brought in to do. Sometimes it looks like a guy is getting fed to, just fed to the fucking, getting fed to get slaughtered, right? Like just getting tossed to the best of the best in the division. And that's what I thought this was going to be. But realistically, Felipe Dos Santos said, no, I'm getting this opportunity. I'm going to go out there and show out. And that's exactly what he did. He put the work in and he was showing it. That kid's talented. I'm excited to see more from him because, got an ash on there. Not only is he skilled, like he's technically sound. He's from Chute Box, so he's training over there with Charles Oliveira and Diego Lima. I think his name is Diego Lima. Lima is the last name, the coach over at Shoot the Box. But they got an amazing program. Everything is put together there. They're all blonde. Once somebody dyes their hair blonde, it's a wrap. You might get hurt in that fight. Sorry, I got to keep hitting this because lighter's out. But yeah, I really like the way that Felipe Dos Santos came in because that's how you're supposed to come in on a short notice fight. Nobody's expecting you to win, but when you go out there and put on a performance like that, not only if you get the win is huge, but people are going to say, damn, I want to see him again. I want to see what his next fight's all about. So shout out to Felipe Dos Santos. Let's talk about Manel Kape real quick. Like I was saying, if this was Kai Kara France in that position, Kai would have had him that night because I think Kai's power would have got to him. Felipe Dos Santos landed a lot of heavy shots on Manel Kape. Now, the game plan was probably different. You're changing the game plan on short notice, so I understand that, but Kai Kara France, I think, would have took him out that night. I really do. Now, I think Manel Kape is better than what we saw. Truth be told, I think he's better than what we saw. But at the same time, he didn't look his best, I can say. But dude's skilled. I'm not taking nothing away from him. Nothing at all. Another one in the post-fight. He was screaming. He was feeling the heat that night, man. He was going at Kai Kara France. Called his team a bunch of Fs and kept it pushing, but he's building his own little villain arc. You gotta have characters like that in the UFC sometimes. But now it doesn't make sense to see this man go fight for a title. He didn't do enough, in my opinion, to go see him fight for a title. So you make that Kai Kara France fight. You make that happen soon. So you can get that done. He didn't take that much damage in this fight. You could run that in December. You could run that in December. Bring that to America. No, you don't have to be completely in another country with two foreign guys fighting. Put him in America. Put him on a big card. Let's see it happen. Let's see it happen. People are gonna want to see that fight. You can have that either opening a main card or headlining a prelim. You can have that as a big enough fight. I think that's something to make next, and then you can talk about the number one contender, because I don't think that fight in itself was enough to give Manal Cape that number one contender spot. Although the flyweight, not the top division, but my boy Brandon Royval coming up. Watch. That boy will have the belt around his waist by the end of 2024. That was a bold prediction. So lock that shit in, because if I'm right, I'm never going to let it down. Look, I called Charles Oliveira being champion. I'm never letting that one go. I called Leon Edwards being champion. I'm never letting that one go. So don't let this one happen, because I'm calling Brandon Royval to be champion. I won't let that one go either, because that's just how I am. I'm that guy. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that guy, pal. Trust me. I'm not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy. Okay.
But no. On to the next. We got Tai Tuivasa and Alexander Volkov. Look, this fight was, it was interesting, because I look at it as, unfortunately, Tai Tuivasa was outclassed in this one. I truly believe Alexander Volkov is the better fighter. I just thought Tai was going to clip him. I thought Tai was going to catch him with something that was going to either, one, get his respect and make Volkov not want to engage, or catch him with something and call it a night. He was landing beautiful calf kicks. Tai was landing beautiful calf kicks, but they were also affecting him on himself anytime that Volkov did check him. Volkov's a big, strong, lanky dude. He hits hard. He throws with volume now. What is this? My man's just throwing with volume now. Instead of throwing these 1, 2, 3 like punch combinations, he's throwing 1-2s, and as soon as he sees he hits you, he's following up with like 6. I'm like, all right, middleweight, that's cool. Do what you do. Do what you do. But that man is getting scarier by the fight, in my opinion, and he is very skilled. He's getting more loose with his striking. That's something I always said about Volkov from the start. If he just loosened up a little bit with his striking, I don't think anybody would touch him. And he looked great with the striking. When the fight went to the ground, he didn't even hesitate to work for a submission, knowing that he's the longer guy than Tai. I thought Tai was working well with some of the groundwork. He got back up in the one exchange. I think it was in the first round. He got back up. I was like, all right, good job, Tai. Great. That was beautiful. Keep it going. And he couldn't keep the fight standing. I think it was a leg kick that got checked that put him on the ground. And then once a guy that is 6 foot, how tall is Volkov? I want to say 6'7". Let me see. He is 6'7". So when a man that is 6'7" gets on top of you and puts you into, he mounts you, you have no control. He ended up finishing it with a what's the Ezekiel choke? Is that what it's called? I gotta look it up. Ezekiel choke. Yep, it was an Ezekiel choke. Look at me knowing my jiu-jitsu. See? I know my shit. Now, all these chokes, some of these chokes look so close, so it's honestly hard to tell at times, like what choke is what. And then I know, a similar choke from the mount position compared to the similar choke off your back or something could be completely two different things. It's just, unless you're training this shit, it's hard to really, really know every single thing. But to finish somebody by Ezekiel choke, that's pretty fancy. But like I said, a man that is 6'7" mounts you. There's not much you're going to do. No matter how big, how strong, unless you're Derek Lewis, you just stand up. Derek Lewis has the best, ground game when it comes to getting up on the planet. He just stands up, and nobody else can do it. He just stands up. He just literally, I don't want to be here no more. I'm up. And yeah, some people, I guess, have that sauce. And Derek Lewis is one of them people that got that sauce. But anyways, Alexander Volkov, beautiful performance against Tai Tuivasa. Honestly, striking looked good. Ground looked good. He looked quick. He looked strong. What's next for him? Who's next for him? I guarantee it, they're going to put him up against Sergey Pavlovich. I'll be willing to put all my money on it. It'll be Sergey Pavlovich next because nobody else wants to fight him. But can Volkov be that dude that stops the hype train of Pavlovich? It's a possibility. It's a possibility. You know, there's not much else. He's literally fought everybody in the division. Think about it. He's fought from Derek Lewis, Greg Hardy, Curtis Blades, Walt Harris, Alistair Overeem, Cyril Gahn, Marcin Tybura, Tom Aspinall, Arsenio Rosenstruik, Alexander Romanov, and now Tai Tuivasa. The only people he has not fought has been Sergey Pavlovich, Sergey Spivak. You got Jailton Almeida on the way up. So if Jailton Almeida can get past Curtis Blades, and maybe, but that's right. I think that's the next fight is Jailton Almeida and Curtis Blades. I think that was announced. Yep, next fight, Curtis Blades, November 4th. So if he gets past, Curtis Blades, that's a possibility. That's a quick rise for him. So we'll see what happens. But I think Sergey Pavlovich and my man Volkov can get that cracking. I think that would be a really good fight. I think it'd be an interesting fight. And like I said, I think Volkov might be able to be that guy that can stop that hype train and that fear of Pavlovich in that division. So, but moving on, we're on to the main event. And we all know what happened in this main event. Let's talk about this for a second. Now, some people are going to sit there and say Israel Adesanya did not look his best. And I'm not going to disagree with you. But some people are also going to sit there and say Sean Strickland did exactly what he needed to do to neutralize anything that Israel Adesanya did. And I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm not here to argue with anybody's takes. Because you're not really wrong. I look at it in a few different ways. I think Izzy was fine until the moment he got cracked. I don't think it was a thing of he got cracked and never recovered. I think when he got cracked, he was like, oh shit. Sean Strickland just... This is supposed... I guarantee you he was saying... They all say that they take it seriously, but I guarantee you with the way that everybody else looks at it, he was slightly looking at it like, I should be able to go in there and take this guy out. I've seen people do it. I should be able to go in there and take this guy out easily. I'm a minus 670 favorite. I should be able to walk in there easily. Now, I could be wrong, right? But the confidence of Israel Adesanya, you never know. He probably walked in there and believed that, not that it was going to be an easy night. He always has to, you always know you have to be careful, right? But probably thought in his head, I know I can get this guy. And then got cracked and said, how? I'm supposed to be, I'm the striker, right? Now, in my opinion, I'm not going to say that Izzy looked bad. I'm going to say Sean did very well at making Izzy uncomfortable. One, he made Izzy miss. That's something a lot of people don't do. He made Izzy miss and he checked leg kicks. Two things that in my last breakdown, I did not think would happen. I thought he wasn't going to be able to check leg kicks. I thought Izzy was going to destroy his leg. I thought Izzy was going to piece him up with the jab, catch him with something low, and then all of a sudden snap something high and finish that fight. I thought it was going to be over with. And Sean completely pushed the pace. There was no pace controlled by Israel Adesanya whatsoever. Now, Israel Adesanya threw 271 strikes, landed 94 of them. Sean threw 259 and landed 137 of them. Now, that's just... Who would have ever thought that Sean Strickland was going to outstrike Israel Adesanya? Now, I did say before, Sean Strickland outstruck Uriah Hall when I never expected that to happen. And he completely outstruck him. And that's exactly what he did to Izzy. I think he unlocked something that a lot of people needed to see with Izzy is he had him on his back foot the whole night while making him miss. And then he was landing good shots. His jab was good, right? He was throwing decent, front kicks, push kicks. He was just landing decent shots, man. Sean looked fantastic. Honestly. I can't take nothing away from Sean Strickland. He looked great. I'm not going to say it was the best version of Izzy I've ever seen, but at the same time, Sean did what he needed to do. You can't be mad at it. You really can't be mad at it, right? Yo, if you're an Izzy fan, be mad at Drake. Drake placed a bet on Izzy. What do you think is going to happen? And I placed a bet on Izzy. So there's two curses when it comes to betting. Drake and me. Son of a bitch. I knew that was going to be out. But look, listen, kids. Listen. We always come a backup. We always got to have something. Always got something. Apollo 37 live resin arrow pod. Yes. That just sounded so scientific for no reason. But back to the fight, right? Izzy looked, I don't know, man. It just looked like he couldn't snap his shots off the way that he was snapping them off. But like I said, Sean's defense was good. Sean's defense was legit. Sean's defense was legitimately looking very solid. He was getting out the way. He was parrying shots. And anything that looked like Izzy was connecting, it was really hitting Sean's hands. So Sean was deflecting enough of it to where Izzy couldn't land nothing heavy enough. Rematch, 100%. Because what do you think? What are you going to sit there and say what's next for Sean Strickland? Drake du Plessis? No. Drake has fumbled the bag. You tried, guy. You tried. You beat Robert Whitaker, and then you fumbled a bag. No, I heard he was injured, whatever the case may be. He missed his opportunity, though. So now that Sean won the belt, it's not Drake is slipping in. No way. Not a chance. Izzy's got to run that back. Just same way he did with Alex, he's going to run that back. Now, in my opinion, they run that back, not quick, but you give a few months to it, 4 or 5 months maybe. If Izzy wins, that's when Izzy takes the break. Izzy wins, take the break. Just go ahead, take the break. Maybe even let the middleweights have an interim title. And you watch Sean and Drakus fight, or Drakus and Jared fight. Whoever ends up being Hamzat and Drakus, whatever the case may be, wherever we're at it. Okay, so shit, my video cut out for a second, but it is what it is. Phone died. It is what it is. But we're going to finish this real quick like I was saying. Right? You do whatever you do with the middleweight division at that point. Right? If Izzy wins, he gets the rematch, gets the title back, right off into the sunset. Is what it is. Good shit, Izzy. You did a good job. We're all proud of you. Even if he retired at that point, but I don't think he needs to do that. I think he can wipe out the division. Sometimes a loss to come back, I've always said it, the loss to come back, avenge the loss, it's huge. But then you'll have to run a third with Sean. This is not one of those ones where you come out, you knock out Sean in the first round and you call it quit. No, you're going to have to run it back too. Well, maybe if he knocks him out in the first round, it's a little different. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But that fight definitely has to be ran back. If not, the only other thing is Drakus, maybe Jared, or you wait. So this don't happen often, but my phone lost storage 2 times in the middle of recording this. So you guys get the point. I'm cutting this video. I'm ending it. I just had to say I'll catch you on the next episode when I break down what is truly next for the former middleweight champion. The last style bender, Israel Adesanya. So make sure you tune into that episode. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to do the YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you know when that next episode comes out. And also, if anybody's got some iPhone storage tips, or better podcast recording tips, drop them down below in the comments for me. Help a brother out a little bit, please. I would appreciate you. Please help me out a little bit. You already know. I'll catch you on the next episode, and I appreciate you as always. I'll talk to you later. Peace.